Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. It's another wonderful episode of Muslimah Spills, and today we're discussing why the generational gap. What are the challenges? And it's still the same beautiful face you've always seen. She's Asma, Khadija, and Bushra, and she's Habiba. So today we want to discuss what happened. At what point did we miss it? Why do we have this so much gap between the previous generation and our own generation? What exactly did we get wrong? How did we get it wrong? So Khadija, what do you think?
I think that the fundamental thing which later led to most of the other factors we'll probably be discussing is that we've stopped struggling to learn. I mean, we've stopped acquiring knowledge. I mean, the average Muslimah does not have, a lot of people don't have a personal library. A lot of people don't buy books anymore.
That's very true.
Not to talk of writing books, you know.
And then low standard.
Yeah, so and then there's a saying that readers are leaders, right?
No, very
so,
true.
Yeah,
very
so
true.
Whatever you don't know, you can't
give it out.
So because we stopped reading, we've stopped acquiring knowledge about our religion, we've stopped acquiring knowledge about philosophy, we've stopped acquiring knowledge about a whole lot of things. And even the things that we go to study in school, we are not masters
in those fields.
We are not experts, you know. Yeah. We are not reference points.
I was about to mention it that even for those who go to school to study a particular course, gone were the days when people still read outside what they are studying. But today it's as good as, you know, I'm a student of English language and that's it for me. When you're asking what's current affairs, you know, people are just looking at you like, when did they say that? And what's, you know, people are lost.
With the gadget and the internet, a lot of people
so many people,
what
even
is going on around them.
The older generation still buy newspaper. Some days ago, I was asking my husband, like, why do people still buy newspapers? And he was saying that it's just because it has become a culture that this older generation have stuck to. You know, we give ourselves excuses that we have the phone. Even though we have the news app, how many people actually go through it? Yes. You know, we have really, just like she said, we have low standards when it comes to what we read.
Acquiring knowledge.
We've stopped acquiring knowledge.
And then when you don't acquire knowledge, for example, you don't read fiqh, you don't read Sirah, you know, like all these Muslimas that we mentioned, the earlier Muslimas, we did not read about them, so you can't even know that there was such a legacy in the religion in the first
That's
instance.
very true.
So if you don't read, you don't know what Islam says about inheritance, you don't know what Islam says about this. When you want to do that thing, you don't know what exactly to do. You don't know what the religion.
You don't even become a reference point for people. You know, you need something that, okay, go and meet this person.
Exactly.
If you don't know it.
Our self-worth. You know, back then, even as Muslims, the like of Aisha, Hafsa, they were leaders.
Yes.
They are icon. People reckon with them, they are reference points. But these days, we tend to, an average Muslimah tend to be on the low line. It doesn't move as such.
That's true.
When you talk about self-worth, it also brings up to the fact that when you ask people who mentors, like who is your mentor,
who's your role model,
or your role model, an average Muslimah will probably want, even those that have dreams and yearn to be to make something big for their names, they'll probably look towards non-Muslim
Ben Carson, Wale Soyinka,
Oprah Winfrey,
all those kind of things.
You know, those are the people they'll probably look forward to, and you don't know that you have better options, like better personalities or in your own religion. You know?
That's true.
I think that brings me personally to the issue of media. Like, I feel that media has also contributed. It's not supposed to be here, but media has contributed to the issue of self-worth. Because of everything that we read in the media today, you know, Muslims that, like you said, ordinarily, you do not read. So you don't even know the correct view of Islam. And the media tells you Muslims are terrorists, Muslims do not know this,
Islam
Sharia is bad. You remember the case of this Sharia and the man who blasphemed the Rasul? And then
the cartoon,
If you don't know what Islam stands on it, you would simply believe what the media has said
is the correct version.
Meanwhile, the same court that passed that message was also the same court that passed the ruling on them cutting off the private genitals of a man who raped a girl. Nobody said anything.
You can imagine.
That was also Sharia.
Yet
nobody said anything. Because, well, that is what we wanted. So media has painted Islam in such a way that it has made us conformists. It has made us feel,
Yes,
I don't want to stand out. I don't want to be a problem. I'm
I
a
don't
normal
want to be a
Muslim.
terrorist. Exactly.
I don't want to
So-
be labeled.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't know what we have. We cannot value it.
Hmm.
And I think the media is contributing to that issue. Both of you said earlier, and I think that's a serious problem.
That's a very good angle for us to chip in the fact that, to a very large extent, I feel that the change in value system has also contributed to the challenges that we are battling. You know, during these older generations that we discussed, and these people of reputable value that we have discussed, you know, what they regarded as value is quite different. Their priorities were different from us.
Yeah.
And so the change in value system has made it look as if we are always reversing the hands of the clock. As if these things we are doing are groundbreaking, whereas some other people, instead of us to have built upon what is on ground, we feel that, okay, let me do it this way. Nobody has done it this way. And the reality is that when we go back, like she said, when we go back, we read about these things, we realize that there are people who have done it, and all we needed to do was to take it up from where they had stopped.
Yeah.
Instead, we continue, you know, going through. You might be wondering, why is Muslimah Spills different from every other content that we have out there? The thing is that everybody just wants to push out content. But who exactly, how many of this content are relevant and discussing the exact things that needs to be discussed? So I feel that to a very large extent, our value system has been disrupted and people no longer get what their priorities are.
And to me, it's quite unfortunate. I want to move a bit away from maybe women. I want to remind us, you know, this president of Turkey, recently he has built an underground railway system through the water. And do you know what he said about it? That the plan has been there since the time, as in, all he did, it was not his own idea. It was an idea of Muslims of years, like years back. They had planned that, oh, we could also build a road that would go through the water and then this and this. And all he did now was to come to feel that. And when he did
plan
to execute
Allah
it, and
Akbar.
when he did that, it was a thing of wonder. Like, wow, how did he do it? And this is something that Muslims had planned. And if we look back into our history, we are rich.
Yes.
Not just the Quran and the Hadith.
Culture,
Is it in the science,
values.
all those things, we have them. So all we need to do is go back, and I believe that this will also reset our value system. What is happening?
So I think we also need to ask the question. Let's ask ourselves, let's discuss. Why do you think the alternative brought by the West is fascinating to the first century Muslimah? Why exactly? You know, there's a way they have painted it. Why can't we also present our Islam that way?
I think the major thing is we tend to lose focus. You know, back then the focus is knowledge, and with knowledge there is a saying that knowledge is power. So with knowledge you can break grounds, enter anywhere, you understand. But today we don't really regard knowledge as something useful, or when we even do, we do it on the low level. So I think that has contributed to what we are facing now.
That brings me to I remember that there was a book I read, I can't remember the title, about when the West wanted to sink the ship of Islam. They started by destroying the Islamic libraries, the books in Andalus of Spain.
Yeah.
You know,
Then they-
I mean,
Those
those books were
in
filled
the
with
river.
Red Sea,
Filled the
a
river.
sea,
That people could
and
walk
people
on
could
it. It
walk
was not bad.
I
You
mean,
can
so,
imagine
yes.
intellectual works that of people, and then they make it like bridges that people would
Yes.
use.
So the first thing which to bring us back to the foundation is knowledge.
Yes.
Immediately knowledge went missing. It was easy for everybody to get fascinated with
That
every
was the
other
first
thing.
portion of the Quran. As in, we just have so
Iqra,
many things
like
that link.
read,
Yeah.
Allah
read.
said read.
Once you
That was
don't
the first
read,
thing.
once you
you
are not
don't read, you
knowledgeable,
don't
that's
know.
the end.
And once you don't know, they can sell to you anything.
Yes.
And
They
so I
repackage lies and bring it to you as your golden treasure. And we
so they
believe
are-
that
they
we
are
have
giving to
gotten
us.
something
Like
better.
you said, what are we doing now? The media has painted to us. They use the media to advertise so many things. We watch movies, we play games, we read unnecessary books that won't add anything to our knowledge.
Yeah.
Some people even take out money to buy books. Fine, but do they read them? And all these things just keep going on and on and on. But we need to actually start changing things. The media is doing something wrong, but like she said, Muslimah Spills is trying to, use this same media to do something a bit right. So how far do we want to take it? If you have other things to do with the media, do it. We as Muslims also need to start speaking up.
We need to rewrite our
history. Nobody will tell our story
Yes.
better than we can.
So I think, what do you think that, I want us to really help our viewers and be practical about it now. We've been talking about reading. What are the books that you feel that a Muslimah should acquaint herself with? There are certain books that you probably want to suggest that a Muslimah should have a book on this, should have a book. For somebody who wants to build her library, what exactly are the things she's looking out for? It might not be particular authors, you know, books on this, so that she's sure that she's equipped with what she needs.
I think the first book a Muslimah should read is Towards Understanding Islam. Because that's the basis. If you understand the religion itself, then you can use that as a ladder to forge ahead. I think that's just the basis.
For me, I would say the Quran. Like, how regularly do we read the Quran? For most of us, our tilawa is not even regular. And then people that read the Quran that the tilawa is regular is like reading a storybook. They just go through it. They don't read the meaning. They don't even
I was
know
coming
what
to
is
that meaning.
in it.
So many of us, I don't want to take, I don't want to ask here, but so many of us are guilty of not having read the meaning of the Quran from back to back. And it's something that we all, during my service here, I remember that there was a revert who was saying that what made him to become a Muslim was the fact that he read the Quran 3 times in English. It was on the second reading that he became convinced of what Islam truly is. Most of us need to move away from what we have heard. We need to read exactly what Allah has said in the... Exactly. So I feel that, okay, so the Quran, towards understanding the Quran, and towards understanding Islam. And I feel that to a very large extent, female Muslims also need to read motivational texts. Apart from just the Quran and Islamic texts, we need to do away with, so many 21st century Muslims read romance. I don't understand. How exactly does this help us?
Vampire and werewolf.
I don't understand. Like, things that are not contributing positively to ourselves or our society. So I feel that to a very large extent, we need to read things that will make us better individuals. So, okay, you want to add something?
Yeah. Then we need to correct the perception we are not second-class citizens. We ourselves are leaders. We need to correct that perception.
And it's not until we believe it before we'll be able to act.
Yeah,
like
it's very important.
Okay. So I think that we should not put ourselves to the background and believe that, who wants to listen to a hijabi? People need to come out with that confidence and courage to be able to let the world know that hijabis have a whole lot of stuff in their brain. This is the era where we get to correct all anomalies and, shatter the boundaries and let people begin to see a different narrative entirely about Muslims in the 21st century. I think to a very large extent we have done justice to this topic, but like we always do, we need to leave our viewers with something. So, Habiba, do you want to tell our viewers something to take home?
Most importantly is just what we have been saying, the issue of knowledge, the issue of reading, and again, it's not only about the knowledge. We seek the knowledge and impact in people. So because knowledge without sharing is a waste, so to say.
Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. For our viewers out there, I hope you have just heard what she said. What are you reading? What kind of a reader are you? What kind of a leader do you want to be? If you are just joining us, I hope you haven't really missed so much. This is Muslimah Spills, where we tell you what you need to know, different from what you have been doing, and where you should be as a Muslimah. Join us for more interesting episodes. It is still Muslimah Spills. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.